Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the NECA Toys R Us exclusive Jungle Hunter City Hunter 2-pack. This features both a Jungle Hunter and a City Hunter from Predator 1 and Predator 2. And I got to tell you, for the most part, I've pretty much ignored the NECA Predator line. They've done some really good stuff. Their sculpts keep getting better and better and better. But for the most part, I've pretty much ignored it, pretty much because NECA has not done an Arnold Schwarzenegger figure yet. But as we know, with Wave 7 or Wave 8, they've included 2 Dutch figures, of which our Toys R Us hasn't seemed to have gotten theirs yet. And of course in Wave 8 or 9, whichever the next one is, we're going to get the one that everybody's waiting for, the Dutch that's covered in mud and with a spear and whatever. So I know I'm definitely going to be picking up that. I've always wanted a Dutch figure, and because of that, I really wanted a good classic, first film, Predator 1 Jungle Hunter. And, every time I've seen this figure in stores, I've sort of passed on him. Either, he's got the mask on, or he's got the mask off and his, mandibles are closed. This is the first Jungle Hunter Predator that I've seen that actually has the mouth open, the mandibles are open. He looks really, really cool. And so this is going to be like the definitive Jungle Hunter that's going to go toe-to-toe with my Dutch figure whenever I find them in stores. And the City Hunter, I've always liked Predator 2. I thought it was a good film. Not as, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't as good as the first one, I thought. But I got to tell you, this is the exclusive version that actually has the half mask, like the breather mask, the air mask, oxygen mask, whatever it is that he pops on for a little bit in the film. And I've always thought that was kind of cool. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I kind of prefer my Predators with their helmets off. And this one sort of has like the half on, half off. So that's really, really, really cool. I believe this is the gun, the shoulder cannon, the plasma caster, I believe is what they call it. This fits on Jungle Hunter over here, and we've got 2 exclusive skulls here that, neither here nor there for me. So it's kind of loud. And flipping around the back, you can see the rest of the members of the Lost Tribe right there. And there's a little write-up for each one of the characters. So let's get these 2 guys cracked open and take a closer look. Okay, so here we have one of the 2 skulls that comes with the 2-pack, and again, not being an avid collector of Predator figures, I can't tell you where these fall in the collection of skulls, or even in the completion of the skull collection, which I'm assuming is what NECA is going for. So you can see here it's a pretty cool looking skull. Looks to be like a forehead area with a fairly huge underbite, kind of like a bulldog. And we got 2 big tusks coming down, 2 sharp ones going up. And I'm not sure if the head's supposed to sit like this because of the top horns here, or if it sits more like that. I'm not sure, but pretty cool. I don't know, I'll probably end up getting rid of these. I don't see a reason to collect them or keep them. Or then again, I may just hang on to them in case I ever do get rid of this set, that I can sell it as a complete set, not just the figures missing the skulls. It also comes with this little guy too. It's a far more menacing looking skull, maybe because it's got eyes, or sockets where the eyes would be, some ridges along the top of the head, and some spiky little tusks coming around in the front, and nice little bowl, which I'm assuming is for the brain. So pretty cool. I don't think you could do anything with it. It does have a little hole there in the bottom. I'm not sure what that's for, but again, these are just nice little accessories. I don't know if these were actually in the movie or not. If so, please let me know down in the comments below. Just not too terribly familiar with the skulls. So yeah, they are what they are. Okay, so taking a closer look at the Jungle Hunter Predator, like I said earlier, I believe that, for lack of a better term, this is what's known as the Predator 2.0 body. There is some added articulation, especially here in he's got the double jointed knees. His loincloth, I believe, is like a softer plastic. We'll take a look at all this here in a minute. We'll get in a little closer, but it's like a softer, more pliable plastic all the way around. And so what you get is a lot more. You can see how loose and how kind of soft and pliable that is. Much more added articulation in the lower half. But I got to tell you, this guy just looks incredibly cool. Like I've said before, I prefer my Predators to be, have their helmet off. I do think they look really cool with the helmets on, but I just really prefer like full-on alien. Love that the double mandibles. I love the detailing on this guy. And again, we're going to zoom in closer here and take a closer look, but he just looks incredible. I am so glad that this is the version of the Jungle Hunter Predator that I actually have in my possession. This guy looks crazy, crazy cool. So why don't we zoom in and take a closer look at some of the finer detail on this guy. Okay, so here we've zoomed in a little bit. We're taking a closer look at the Jungle Hunter Predator. And you can see like some of that just crazy amount of detail inside his face and on his mandibles. And I really hope that this is coming across right here in the inside of his mandibles. You can see in the bright pink fleshy part, there is some bright red veins and membranes that are sort of painted on the inside. And that detail is just crazy. And like in hand, it is ridiculous. Now, I have seen the past, I've seen before, some of the past Jungle Hunter Predators, and I have to say, this one I think is tops when it comes to the paint application and the detailing, especially in the the fish netting and in the dark paint spots that are on his markings on like the top of his head. I think it just looks fantastic. And I have actually seen now the helmeted Jungle Hunter that actually comes in wave 7 with the Dutch figures. I've seen that one, and the paint just overall from like head to toe is just a little lighter, not nearly as detailed for me. So I have actually passed on that set, on that particular figure. But I love like the strings with all the little the skulls and everything that are on here. It's kind of like this guy's like the Daryl Dixon of Predators, keeping little trophies wrapped around him. Nice detailing on the armor, as you can see right here that the plasma caster is indeed on a ball joint as well, and it does have some give. It's got some back and forth. You can actually remove the whole backpack assembly. As you saw, it comes unassembled, unattached in the package. It just has like a little notch right here, and this little part right here has a little notch where it just kind of plugs in right here and snaps in like underneath. And then you can just push it over and let it rest on his shoulder. And it holds in place very, very well. Overall, this guy is just fantastic. The amount of detail, the amount of articulation, I'm really digging him. Both hands are on a ball joint, as well as the head is on a ball joint. You have pin sockets at the shoulder that can go in and out, and pin sockets at the elbow. So you can also extend, and you can see I already have it out. You can extend the gauntlet blades, his little arm blades, in and out, and they kind of go in. That's as far in as they go, and that's about as far out as they come. So that's a very nice touch. You can see here on his wrist, he does have his, I guess this would be where the his self-destruct panel is, but it doesn't. It looks like it does, but it does not actually open up. Very nice detailing on the back. You can see the dreads here. They're all very loose, individual. There's no big clump of dreads, like each one's individual. And again, sorry, for not having any of the earlier releases. I don't actually know if any of the other ones actually had clumps or if they were all individual. So I don't know if that's a new thing or something new or something they've always done. So it's impressive nonetheless. I just can't say enough. This guy is just fantastic. Love the detailing. One of the things. Oh, here's the. I'll show you right here some of the. This is that much softer, much pliable, much more pliable. He has no booty, no alien booty. Okay, so one of the things I really like is I love this nice little detail where he's been injured, and you can see his blood is actually trailing down the side of his foot. Down his ankle. That's a really, really, really nice touch. And as you can see, double jointed at the knee, but with not actually any extra articulation other than like a ball joint on the ankle, then, the double jointed knees, it's good to have. It looks very nice, but it doesn't really help out a ton. So, yeah, this guy looks fantastic. I just really, really dig this figure. I dig the posability, and I'm actually kind of glad that I've really waited so long to sort of get into the Predator line from NECA, because this figure is just absolutely fantastic. And when I get the Dutch figures, this is going to be one imposing Predator for him to face off against. Okay, I really hope you guys enjoyed those poses with the Jungle Hunter, and as you can see, the added articulation helped get him in quite a few fairly decent poses. But the lack of the extra articulation in the ankle really does sort of hamstring the double jointed knees. But it is good to have them. And as you can see here, City Hunter Predator has the double jointed knee as well. And this is clearly a battle damaged version. You can see he is leaking quite a bit of bright green glow in the dark alien goo. So he is quite mucked up, which is very befitting because he does have the rebreather mask on, which he put on when he had been injured. So there's quite a bit of damage done to this guy, and overall, like I said before, I really enjoy my Predators to be, sort of without their helmets on. But I always thought that quick little segment where he wore the oxygen mask, the rebreather mask, I always thought that was kind of cool. So this is sort of like the best of both worlds. You do get like from the nose up, or from the mouth up, he's sort of helmetless, and then from the mouth down, he does have some mask kind of thing going on, which is really, really, really cool. This is a very soft black tubing sort of connecting from his backpack or the side up to his mask, which a little bit of word of warning, when you are getting this guy out of the pack, this is the same sort of thickness and color as the strap that has sort of had the little twist tie that's holding him into the package. Just make sure you're pulling the right thing so you don't pull that out. Nice amount of detail on this guy. The fish netting looks really, really good throughout the chest and thighs. Looks really good. You have a lot of little soft, sort of like little pliable pieces that we'll look at closer when we take a closer look at this guy. You can see where he's got like the little strap for, or the case for the holster for the blade, the disc blade, which he does not come with. And I have seen in other reviews that some people's sets have been coming with the disc blade, and I have actually reached out to NECA, their customer service department, and asked to see if they can send one out to me. I think they are doing that. If you get one that didn't have it, I think they will send you one out. You can also see here what they have, where he's got the net gun, and he does have the extendable blades on the gauntlet, just like Jungle Hunter, which is really cool. So why don't we go ahead and zoom in on this guy and take a closer look at some of the finer detail on this guy. Okay, so he is pretty much using the exact same body as the basic body as the Jungle Hunter. So this is the, I guess for lack of a better term, like we said, the Predator 2.0 body. He has the same articulation. He's got the pin socket on the shoulder, go in and out and rotate fully. He does have the pin socket here on the elbow as well, and it rotates fully. Hands are on a ball joint. Head is on a ball joint. You are sort of limited, because of the dreadlocks and the shoulder pad, at least on this side, which to me looks a little high, but I haven't gone back to look at the movie to see if it's screen accurate. I'm sure it is, so, no complaints there. And as you can see, that hand is quite loose. My hand was actually off in the package. When I opened him up, there was the hand sort of like flopping about in there, and I was kind of disappointed about that, and it's popped off quite a few times. No ab crunch, but you do get waist articulation. He does have the lift. Get this thing out of the way. You can see he does have like the softer, more pliable padding there, as on the back. And look, he does have an alien booty, which is just a little soft piece of rubber, which is kind of funny. It's kind of weird, but hey, it works when standing in a pretty static pose. You can't really tell. He does have his little alien man purse on the side and another one on this side, so quite a bit of like soft good detail on him. Again, he does have the double jointed knees, which is really good, but of course without extra articulation in the ankle, there's not much there going on. So we'll see if he's as easy to pose as the Jungle Hunter, which I'm sure he will be. Turning around here on the back, very nice detail on the back. You can see all the dreads again are all individual, which is really nice. Again, I don't know if this is something that NECA has been doing all along or if this is something new, but I really do dig it. You can see here what I remember to be his sort of like medical pack or his health pack. I think that's what that may be, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of cool. And getting his sort of dreads out of the way for a second, you can see that right here he does have the shoulder gun, which can rotate fully around. You can see he rotates fully, and it can slide all the way up onto his shoulder so that he can have the shoulder mounted cannon, which is a really, really nice touch that they allow it to rotate around and then slide down his back for storing, which is really, really cool. Let's just leave that out because that's pretty cool. Now, the other really nice touch about this guy, other than the mask, is that he is battle damaged. So you are getting all the blood splatter, which is quite nice. It looks really good. And he also has a little bit, let's see if I can hold this out of the way. He also has battle damage here. So his arm is removable. Ah, that hand, you're killing me. I guess he doesn't need it for taking the arm off. But you can see here how you can actually take the forearm off where it was cut in the film. So it does sort of leave, because of the peg, it does leave a little stump here. And, I honestly don't know why NECA didn't choose to, put the peg on this side of the hand so that it would plug into a hole here. It may be because of articulation, because of how far in the pin socket has to go into this little part of the arm and to remain screen accurate. That may be it. It doesn't seem to me that they couldn't have made that hole in there and just switched these two anyway. I mean, then again, I'm not a toy designer. I don't know for sure, but I think it may have been for articulation purposes. So you can mess this Predator up pretty well. So he's just so incredibly cool. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on the face and show you some great detailing in there, because his eyes are just amazing. okay, I mean, just look at that crazy amount of detail. You can see eye peering out over this side, sort of a squinty eye peering out over this one. I just love that slight little squint that's going on. Like, I'm hurt, I'm not happy about what's going on, and I'm really pissed off. It's just a great amount of detail, and you can see how soft and pliable all these the individual dreads are. They just look so nice. Some detail shot of the plasma caster. I always want to say blaster, but it's plasma caster, I believe. And the dreads is just so much detail. NECA really pulled out all the stops with these figures. And, you know, I keep saying that, you know, I haven't gotten this line before, and I guess it makes me both disappointed because I may have missed out on some really cool figures, but also really happy that these are the two figures that I got in on. They both look so killer. All right, let's see how many cool poses we can get this guy into. Okay, so we've looked at the skulls, we've looked at both of the figures in closer detail. We've also got both of them in some pretty cool poses. So all in all, you know, I gotta say, for the $29.99 that this pack cost at Toys R Us, and it is a Toys R Us exclusive, I have to say this set is completely worth every penny. I would say this set is worth the price of admission just for this guy alone. He is fantastic. Of all of the Predators that I think I've ever paid attention to or looked at or even seen, I think this guy is just absolutely fantastic. And like I said, when I get a chance to pick up the Dutch figures, especially the Final Battle mud-covered Dutch, this is going to be the guy that's going to go toe-to-toe, and I can't wait to complete that display. These figures are amazing. You know, I know this. I may be, you know, a few months late to the late to the game on these guys, but if you can still find them in your Toys R Us, or if your Toys R Us hasn't got them yet, keep your eyes open, because this is a Predator 2-pack that you definitely don't want to miss. They're iconic versions of two of the best versions of the Predator that we've ever seen. So if you're a classic Predator 1 and Predator 2 fan, and you don't have these guys before, definitely pick this set up. So, you know, as always, we're going to ask if you guys dug the video. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Please be able to join in on the conversation over at facebook.com/ungrownups, and be sure to check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks. You can stream it directly from ungrownups.com, or you can check us out on iTunes. And until next time, peace.